Trainor, the founder of the Futures Tour, what once was the Tampa Bay Mini Tour. Thank you for coming here today, Eloise.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for asking me. This is special. It's special.
Excellent. So, your baby turns 40 years old this year. Sort of talk about the feeling you have in terms of the pride of what this means to you.
Well, certainly the longevity is exceptional. Who thought? I mean, as when I began, it was more to have a place for players to get ready for the LPGA qualifying, which was in Florida at the time. I didn't think beyond that. So 40 years later, it's pretty remarkable to think they can play their way onto the LPGA. That occurred probably halfway through the 20 years that I ran the Futures, thinking, gee, wouldn't it be great if the players could play their way on? That happened within those 20 years. It's exceptional for them to be able to do that. So that, the purse money, the organization, the tournament sites, it's unbelievable, but certainly warranted because the quality of play. It's an international tour. I mean, they're going into the international tour of the LPGA, so it certainly warrants it, and you've made that happen. You made that happen.
Tell me a little bit about, almost like day one, that first day. You were talking about sort of how it started and why you conceptualized having this tour.
Well, a two-part answer to the question. I was a player. I wanted to play on the LPGA. There was nothing to play on, so I thought, I'll start a tour, I'll get the competitive experience I needed, and then I'll maybe be able to get onto the LPGA. At least I had thought that might happen. At the same time, the LPGA had their qualifying tournament in Florida at the time. And as I said, there was nothing for other players to play on. So I said, I'll start. Did I think of it as a tour? I guess I had to name it something, the Tampa Bay Mini Tour. But I didn't think it was a tour that would go on. I was putting together tournaments for the players, for me and the players. As it happened, I had probably 12 scheduled tournaments prior to the qualifying. One made it, one took off, and there were 50 players that signed up for this. The very first tournament was like, what have I done? And of course I didn't play in that. There were just too many players. And then I tried to play in the tournaments after that, and I couldn't do both. I had to pick one or the other, so I put my clubs away and continued running tournaments or scheduling tournaments, and that's literally how it continued. It was just throw the clubs away, run tournaments, which I really enjoyed doing. Ironic, who knew? Who knew?
So in terms of getting that first group of players, when so much has changed now. We have email now, we have fax machines, we have social media. So it's not really hard to sort of communicate a message broadly. But this is 1980, and even the fax machine didn't exist back then. So how are you going about communicating and putting together this first tournament?
It's a good question, and the question can easily be answered. You're going to like this. I was a member of the LPGA teaching division. I put anybody I had met, any opportunity I had, because they all wanted to play on the LPGA tour too. They just happened to be teaching at the time. But so that was my network, and it was pretty extensive.
Sort of what we call a throwback visor there. Tell us a little bit of the story of the visors that you were sort of telling us a little bit off camera, and what you did with those.
Every year we started off with a boatload of caps and visors for the players when they'd come on, join us at whatever time a player would join us. They had a selection of a cap or a visor, and I don't know if Texas is still in existence, but Texas was the maker, and they just did a great job for us. And this is an early logo. The logo evolved.
Announcing you off the first tee throughout the weekend, so I encourage you to say hello, introduce yourselves. But I asked Eloise to join us here tonight to say a few words.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. It's a great tour. It's a great level of play. I love this level of play. I know everything that's done for you from the volunteers and sponsors and staff, that you appreciate everything that's done for you. And that's one reason I love this level of professional women's golf. But I'm going to throw two people in, former players. Heather Daly Donofrio was a former player, and Kathy Lawrence is a former player. And they're the best of the best, and they're all working for you still. So they have a great great week. I look forward to meeting you all on the tee. I'm starting on the first tee, but over the course of the 3 days, I hope to see and meet every single one of you. So don't hesitate to say hi. I'll do the same. It's good to see you, and thank you for everything. Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. And our second special guest joining us from LPGA headquarters is LPGA Commissioner Mike Wong.
Thank you. Nothing better than to start your season in a 4-club win, so good luck to you. I don't know if it's been doing this all day, but when I pulled in, that was pretty significant.